The insurrection on the nation's capital shocked many Americans, but for many of DC's Black and POC residents, far-right violence on their streets was nothing new.
Were you shocked at all by the events of the 6th?
They said they were going to do it, and they actually did it. And the fact that police officers let their literal colleagues in, no, I'm not surprised. We knew it was going to happen.
It's like waiting for the water to boil over in the pot. Before the election, their appearances were very grim and very just sporadic. They would pop up like once a month, and now it seems like they're here goddamn daily.
Hey! The Proud Boys were deep, but we were still rolling like 20 of us and thousands of them. Every time we roll by, fuck Antifa. Bitch, we not Antifa, yo. Like, stop calling us that. We city kids, we riding a bike, we experience the shit.
We want all the smoke out DC.
They huddled up, they threw a Red Bull at us, and I guess they was communicating and they boxed us in. Thank God my boy was like on his moped.
We get away!
I kind of felt like I was living in an episode of Scandal.
This is our house!
But watching it all happen, I was kind of both shocked and not surprised all at once. I think if people were surprised by what happened, that means that they haven't been paying attention.
Inauguration week brought tanks, massive shutdowns, and even more tension to a city that was already at the intersection of America's most hot-button issues. So we decided to spend Inauguration week with 3 activists to see how they were keeping their city safe.
We're in the Columbia Heights neighborhood of DC right now with Fuel the People, which is an organization that provides money for Black and POC restaurant owners to make meals for protesters or community members in the DC area.
These are all meals that come from a Black-owned restaurant that's actually not too far from here. So we've got meatball sandwiches, vegan sandwiches, tuna sandwiches, and then it looks like the restaurant was nice enough to actually throw in some scones for free. My name's Allegra Tomasa Macero. I'm the DC co-founder of Fuel the People. Black and POC-owned restaurants throughout the pandemic have been closing at double the rate of other restaurants. We did a huge campaign around the voting season. So in DC, New York, and LA, actually, we fed 7,500 voters with meals from local restaurants. We targeted long lines that were in marginalized neighborhoods to kind of address how hunger can be a form of voter suppression. We wanted to not only fuel the people that are on the front lines fighting for justice for us all, but also to fuel money back into our local communities. So at that point, we began to partner with local Black and POC-owned restaurants to pay them to prepare the meals.
How is your organization being affected by the inauguration and shutdowns and events of the 6th?
When a road closes down, people cannot get to downtown to deliver meals, to deliver supplies. We had a restaurant that was donating 250 meals that's based in Chinatown, which right now is where the road closures are. Luckily, that restaurant has another location and is going to, pivot their efforts to get those meals to us. But we almost lost out on 250 meals that were for people just because of the road closures that are in place.
Give me meatballs.
Meatball?
Yeah. That look good.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Kayak Kitchen started a rapid response group chat and started to get people into Airbnbs and hotels because of the curfew and because transportation was shut down. Oliver?
I love DC. I fell in love with the culture. It just felt like every day was a big block party. My name is Kayak Parker. I'm the executive chef and founder of Kayak Kitchen. Kayak Kitchen is a Black women-owned collective of local chefs that just want to cook and help the community. The protest started in DC back in June. It was 1,000 degrees. It felt like everything was closed. There was no resources available for folks to get water or food. And if it was like $20, $30 to get a meal. So I was thinking, okay, I have all this extra unemployment money just sitting, and we just make 25 meals and see what happens. So our Saturday events, we do Feed the City. We drive around all 8 wards, give out supplies, everything that we need. We try to provide as much variety as possible. And mostly now with the COVID times, I try to get immune boosting things. So I try to get more ginger, more garlic, more onions, more lemons, and more limes, just for folks to have more access to perfect immunity for the neighborhood. I cook about 150 meals every event we do, so 3 times a week. I'm terrible at math.
You do three events a week?
Yes.
That's 450 meals a week.
But it's like, I've been in the industry, so like knocking that out is nothing.
We were hearing reports of Proud Boys coming in and terrorizing DC generally, even before the riots on the 6th. So can you kind of talk to me a little bit about any experiences you had with the Proud Boys while they were in DC?
A lot of my friends were stabbed, were beaten. Even DC's police department had thrown them in jail versus arresting the Proud Boys that has just stabbed various Black Lives Matter protesters. You don't know who the police and the National Guard, what side they're on.
Throughout the summer in DC, there were times where we were literally setting up folding tables like this with meals for protesters on Juneteenth, which is a celebration. And I look up and I'm surrounded by 20 police officers in riot gear.
Our table got ransacked a couple times. Like, the police just came and took everything, pepper sprayed people. For the Black Lives Matter protests, especially with the Proud Boys now here in town, I really don't feel safe as a Black woman in the city. 13 metro stations closed down. Half the city is blocked off and you have to pass through a National Guard checkpoint to explain your reasons why you're coming into town. And it's a white guy pointing a 20-foot long gun in your face. So it's like, oh shit, and you're transporting a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's already suspicious because you're Black and brown.
Let's hope that this cop does not fuck with me. Go ahead, bruh. My name's Imani Kennedy. I am a co-founder of Until Freedom DC, and I am an overall freedom fighter, as corny as that sounds sometimes.
Tell me what that means. Like, when you say freedom fighter, who's that person?
Honestly, I think it's anyone who stands up in the face of adversity. I always say that activism saved my life because I truly was depressed. I lost my best friend to an overdose in February. Her name was Adego, and if anybody knows anything about that girl, this is some shit she would put in my life. This is the type of stuff that she likes, and honestly, I think a big part of the reason I'm out here is because of her. So right around the corner would be Prince George's County, a majority Black county. I think it's the highest populated county with African Americans in the United States. So if the intention is to feed our people, that's why we chose these locations. When you don't have money, it forces you to be displaced into a certain situation where maybe I have to walk into Target and take this box of Pampers real quick for my kid. Mm-hmm. And now I'm sitting looking at 3 years for something stupid. That's defunding the police, because keeping people out of police situations keeps people safe also. Oh shit! When it comes to Black women, we're facing multiple pandemics. We're not only fighting racism, but we're fighting patriarchy. BLM was started by 3 Black women. How are we the loudest ones and the first ones outside? For George Floyd, for Eric Gardner, for Trayvon Martin. How do Black women still fall to the wayside? Breonna Taylor was asleep in her home with her boyfriend where she felt safe. When you go to work, how do you feel? Safe, right? These senators, these government officials went to work that day on January 6th and they felt safe. These government officials are the same ones who did not en masse nationally propose no-knock warrants being banned. And then white supremacy came in, busted doors down, and literally shot up the place. And they were terrified shitless. I hope, because it happened literally at their front door, literally in their safe haven, in the United States Capitol, I hope that they're able to take the introspection and retrospection and say, this is a problem. I hope January 6th scared them, but I also hope that it made them more empathetic.
Yeah, so an hour later, I'm back to my shift. I know my boss is gonna be like, God damn, you said you were getting like apples, not like a whole 9 yards. I'm like, saving the world, sorry, like.
When you are distributing meals and supplies to people, just like the mentality of like, this is solidarity, it's not charity. We're here to build community with each other. We're not here to just like give things to people. Have conversations with people, make friends, like be compassionate, be kind.
This is solidarity. The people that are out here serving the community live in this community. The people that are out here fighting for this community are people that are products of this community. Sorry. I have road rage and I got somewhere to be. So this is our location. This is 16th and Good Hope Road. We have a lot of community out here that ranges from low income to unhoused. And this is our stop.
Everything over here is free. Come grab what you need.
Free food for the people, free clothes for the people. We out here. We out here.
This is our fourth stop of the day.
Can I get some news on these heavy ass boxes?
I feel like this is my mission in life, to provide a service for everyone around me. Everything you need.
Вечер перед инаугурацией с обществом президента. На самом деле вышел...
It's official. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have been sworn in. We're at Black Lives Matter Plaza, and it's not as crowded as it usually is, or as any inauguration ceremony is, for obvious reasons, but people are still celebrating, running around, passing flags out. Very calm, overall very chill, very musical. A lot of people would be excited ordinarily about the first woman, the first Black woman, the first Asian American woman being in an executive position. How are you feeling about the election?
I'm fearful for her, especially today. Like with the inauguration, I was literally keeping my eyes on her the entire time.
To be honest, until you just said that, that's the first time I've thought about that that's what we're celebrating in probably 2 or 3 weeks. We're just trying to like get them in the door safely, right? Like we're just trying to not have our city burn down. We're just trying to make sure that housing insecure people aren't left outside alone without meals. We're trying to make sure that people aren't being exposed to COVID.
I'm not necessarily confident that we're at peace. Biden woke up today and said, "It's a new day, America," on Twitter. I wanted to be like that person, like, you know, when the person that opens up the windows is like, "Fresh air, shut up." Like, that's how I felt. That's exactly how I felt when he tweeted that shit. If I was a little Black girl, you know, I'd be pressed. I'd be very, very excited. But I've been a congressional intern. From what I've witnessed, I don't think that even the Black people that are up there, I think they care about us, but I don't think that their focus is always on us. People are naturally selfish at the end of the day. If you're helping out your neighbor, that's represented as solidarity. That's represented as community, and not the kind of colonizer, imperialistic, look at what we're doing to help the poor point of view.
Do you want to live in DC your whole life, or you think you want to move away one day?
Girl, I ran away to Miami for a reason. I came home by happenstance, and I think a lot of women can identify by following a boy I probably should not have followed back home. Love him to death, but and I'm here, but I appreciate it, because clearly I wouldn't have been able to do any of this stuff.
You still talk to the boy?
I do.
We were skating, right? That's me right there. They try to glass us and shit. I'm like, damn, I grabbed my friend's board because I thought it was mine.
All right, give us your Instagram handle if they want to send you a new board or some money for that.
Telly. You already know.
All right, send him a new board, y'all. He was trying to defend him and his friends, and they took his shit and destroyed it.
Whole time.